Hello, good evening, lovely people. I hope you guys are doing pretty well. I'm doing fine. I had a 12-hour shift yesterday, so I have my second 12-hour shift, and then my last one will be on Saturday. So I'll technically have a good amount of day. Is it a good amount of day off? No. I think I'll have one day off before I get 3 days off. Afterwards, I think after Saturday, so I'll have like maybe 3 days off. So I'll just study because I have an exam coming up, which will be next week. So there's gonna be a lot of stuff coming up. So today I'm gonna be doing videos that will be a little different from the videos I usually do every day. So we're gonna talk about three main things. The first thing that we're gonna be talking about the tank size, feeding habits, and I want it. I want it is gonna be like a little special um add on, and just stay stick to it so that you can see it. Tank size. Not all fish deserve to be on the 10-gallon. What I'm saying is, it's not because you love goldfish or you really want to have goldfish or you really want to keep goldfish that you absolutely need to put it on a 10-gallon or on the tank specially designed for goldfish. One thing that I've seen with multiple stores, like the thing that they tend to do, I'll say for marketing purposes, is they create kits. I'm not against kits, to be honest, because buying a kit as a brand new fish keeper is pretty beneficial when you're really thinking about it, because you do get everything, right? So you get lighting, you get the filter media, you also get some conditioner as well. Depends on which kind of brand that you actually choose. But I'm not gonna be doing any marketing or promoting any brand specially. But I personally did buy was it Top Fin? I think a Top Fin beginner or else 20-gallon long kit, but it was on Amazon, not Amazon, on Facebook Marketplace, and it was for like 20 or maybe $30. But it was broken, so I had to repair the thing myself, and I used this thing as a grow out things for the angelfish that I had maybe 5 weeks ago, that I received for maybe 5 weeks ago. So this thing is pretty good. Not gonna lie, I love it. It's an hexagon tank, so you can see the fish in different size. But they came with all the things that I did talk about, like the filters, the lighting. So I really ain't got nothing to worry about it. So it was just like me plug it in, no, repair it first, and then plug it in, cycle it, and I was good to go. Which is less expensive as it could have possibly been if I actually, go at the store and pick up a specific thing, like maybe a bare bottom 20-gallon or maybe 30-gallon that I will have to buy myself the filter, which will add up like probably a $30, maybe $40 if I choose to hang in the back, and then getting a bubbler, which will probably be a $10 for the hair stone, and maybe get the pump for like $30 again. So like, as you're really thinking about it and you really want to do it well, depends on what kind of knowledge that you really do have. Because if you're a beginner, so you really don't think about like a lot of things like getting a bubbler and stuff like that, unless something happened and then somebody pointed out to you, or you post picture and somebody do point out the fact that you don't have a bubbler. So it just like get way much more expensive as you think about it. That's one of the reason why I do really like kits. But the thing that I do that I tend to see with kits is some company actually using the fact that, you know what, that's a brand new kit, right? And people tend to buy kits so much more often to get in the hobby, and they just prey on those people by making the kits for fish or maybe animals that has no business to go on the kit. For example, create a less than a 1-gallon tank for a beta. This thing I've seen a lot. I went to this store like last week. Yeah, last week. No, was it Monday? I think Monday. And they had like a less than a 1-gallon tank. I really don't know how much water can this thing actually hold. And this thing was like for $40. No filter in it, just a SpongeBob inspired theme thing. I was crazy to me because I was like, what the heck? And they also have like, your regular bowl, full goldfish, of course. And I really don't know like where this whole idea of putting goldfish in a bowl comes from. Probably from movies, to be honest. But yeah, this is also actually a bad thing that we have to deal with in the hobby. If you really want to have fish, I'll say do it well. Make your research about the kind of fish that you really do want to get or do want to have. I know some people tend to go to, hey, you know what, the fish is really small because the fish is really small, so I can put as much fish as much fish as possible, or it's as much fish from the same species as possible because hey, you know what, it's small, so it's good. But the thing is, it might be small, but not really good or as good because the fish is like, I'll say Daniel. Daniel really wants or loves space, so they love running around, so they love to go crazy and think. And putting a Daniel on like a less than a 1 gallon tank just because the Daniel is small and then I can fit as much that Daniel as possible is irresponsible to me. But hey, that's just me, a fish keeper for like a year with my personal experience and my personal bias and my own way to actually do things. So you don't really have to believe me. Well, actually, you do. Please believe me. Don't put a Daniel on like a half a gallon or maybe not even a gallon tank. I wouldn't even put a Daniel on a less than a 20 gallon, but I'm probably gonna try to put it in a 10 gallon and see what they do because I'm testing out. But please, as a beginner, don't think that it's a normal thing to do. Do not. And one biggest misconception that some of the people that just got into the hobby have is, you know, I eat every day, therefore my fish needs to eat every day. No, they do not. Well, technically they do need to eat every day because I think if you, well, not every day, but they need to eat kind of that. But believe it or not, one of the reasons why we want your thing to be cycled is because by cycling your things, you'll have some bio elements or some microorganism in the tank that the fish can, that you cannot see, but the fish can actually see and feed on. And that's one of the reasons why I did try a couple times, you know, not to feed my fish for like 2 maybe 3 days. And it's pretty easy to see that hey, even though I do not feed them for maybe 2 or 3 days, they still eat, they still poop. And by them pooping, so I know like, hey, you know what, there's something that they're eating, and they're always like eating some biofilm throughout the tank as well. So get your tank really cycle in, cycle well, and really do not worry about the fact that hey, you know what, I gotta feed my fish every day. Because like one thing that tends to happen when you do feed your fish every day, at least I've seen it with myself, my fish was, you know, they don't eat like the full thing that you give them. I'll say that's mostly when you're a beginner fish keeper and you just don't know like which quantity is enough for this specific kind of fish that you do have, and you just end up like having fish food left at the bottom, and then you know your ammonia levels start to spike up and then you lose fish, which happened a lot when I first started keeping fish. But as of right now, nah, I did not lose one single fish beside of the guppy incident that I have with Petco. But other than that, our babies are doing well. But yeah, so do not personally let it go out of your way to feed your fish every day. I'll say if you're a beginner fish keeper and your tank is really well cycled, you will know the fact that you know your fish is not gonna die, or they're not gonna die as fast, or they're not gonna die as in really weird way that you cannot explain. So yeah, don't feed them every day. So you can try to feed them every other day, or feed them every 2 maybe 3 days. Don't like actively go out of your way to actually give them a really good portion of food so that you can have like food left and maybe stuck at the bottom of the tank, because it will just end up making your ammonia spike up, and when it does, the fish are gonna die just the way it is. I'm sorry. And I understand more than anybody else that hey, you know what, goldfish are cute and everybody want to have goldfish just because they're cute. Is there like any clownfish are also cool, you're nice. No, those are fishes that people loves a lot. Also mainly because of mainstream movies has been, you know, putting these fishes or shoving down our throats for now a good amount of years that actually make people, you know, go out of their way to actually start keeping fish. Not gonna lie, they're cute, they're adorable, you will never get tired of them. But the big problem is when you actually go out of your way to get fish and not knowing how to properly take care of them. So that's in I'll say tricky cycle that I really don't want anybody to be in, because I've been on this cycle when I first started keeping fish. My really big obsession was about like keeping goldfish. I've of course started like with buying goldfish and putting goldfish with other fish that had no business to be with, for example with a betta, or buying 2 goldfish and put them together and with a tank that is not even cycled, or put 2 goldfish on a 10-gallon tank and then feed them every day and be surprised about the fact that, hey, you know what, they die. Like, if you're a beginner fish keeper, I really don't see a lot of people actually saying this, but the thing that I will tell you to do is, instead of going out and buying really expensive fish, you can go and start with buying feeder guppies. Guppies, really small guppies, not a lot of colors, but I understand. I'm sorry, they're not as interesting as the fish that you really want to keep. But I'll say it's a really good way to get your thing cycled if it's not cycled well, because not a lot of people don't know that. That's what I did with some of my tanks actually. Second water maybe too. Like, if you're having problems cycling your tank, so you can get dead fish of your fish that you bought that died, I'll say. So you just like keep the fish in the tank, or you just take the body of the fish, right? So you put it on like something, and then you just like pod the thing. This will help you cycle the thing too. But just make sure that you don't have any fish in the tank, because it might make your ammonia spike up and stuff, so it might kill the fish, the living fish that you might have in the tank. But if you have a dead fish in the tank and you really want to cycle your tank, and you know, or suspecting the fact that the fish dies because the tank was not cycled, just leave the fish in the tank, and your tank will start maturing and cycle, or have the good amount of microbiome, so that all the fish you all put in the tank won't die. But I really don't remember exactly what I did, but I do remember the fact that, hey, you know what, I had this dead fish, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna cycle my tank with this dead fish. So I just left it, and then I cycle my tank with it. So you can get feeder guppies. You might want to cycle your tank with feeder guppies. That's one way to do it. I wouldn't really personally recommend to do that, because, hey, it's a really long process, and you can't really like put anything on the thing, to be honest. You gotta wait until this tank is fully cycled, and you can start with them. You know, they're really easy to keep. That's a big lie. The reason why I'm saying that's a big lie is because at the beginning I could not even keep feeder guppies. I think I try at least like 2 or maybe 3 times after I was like, okay, cool. So I finally have like a generation of feeder guppies that I kept alive, and then some of them got pregnant, and then I had like another generation that I do have right now. So I was saying that, hey, they are pretty easy to keep. It's kind of like a lie, I'm sorry, but we can start with them. They're not expensive. There you go, that's not a lie. So you can pretty much like go on a regular PetSmart, Petco. Well, I don't know, Petco has feeder guppies. They usually have like those way much more ornamental guppies, like regular guppies that everybody knows, like those really fancy guppies. But if you do go to like a pet supermarket, or you go to PetSmart, I think, so you can actually go buy some feeder guppies in bulk, for example, like in 10, maybe 20, then you put them on the tank. If you're doing it well, or if you really have a good understanding of what the cycle is, and you actually put in the work in, so you actually see that, hey, you know, they're getting very much more comfortable, and some of them will actually breed, and then they will kind of like, you know, give you some heads up in the hobby. Because after, you know, keeping feeder guppies for a while, you might be like, okay, cool, so after keeping this fish, I'm really interested into nanofish. But therefore, you might go and try to explore other nanofish such as danios and zebras and stuff like that. Or after keeping feeder guppies for a really good amount of time, you might say like, hey, you know what, feeder guppies was really fine, but right now I really want to do something else. So you might actually try to, you know, keep goldfish, and then right now you'll have to get a bigger tank, good amount of filtration, and, you know, do the work. 2 or maybe 4 times more than the nanofish that you're keeping, which is the feeder guppies. But it's all fine. But right now you do have a good understanding, and, you know, the hobby, the whole process of things, and how to do things, and how to do them well. And then you'll have less fish that will die, and eventually, you know, no fish are actually down there here, because you actually know what you're doing. But it's a whole process, and I'll say it does take time to actually, you know, make you all fully comfortable about what it is you're doing. It's a learning process, a whole process. Like I said, don't be afraid to go on the internet and ask people for help, because people will be generally into helping you. So ask for help. And that was it, ladies and gentlemen. So I did not really want to show my fish today, because it's a really good amount of work to do. Because when I do show my fish, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of like me talking for like 45 minutes, and I really don't think that I have 45 minutes to talk for now. It's 4:42 now. I'm gonna chill for a little bit before I actually start getting ready for it. and I will edit this video as soon as I get to work on my downtime, when I do get a downtime actually. And that's pretty fine. It's kind of like a really good way for me to talk to you guys. I like talking to you guys every day, which is crazy because I thought that I was like a vlog guy and vlogging was my thing. I might vlog something coming, but not right now. Right now I'm really happy about the fact that, you know, fish is something that I'm really interested into, and I can just sit down and talk about fish for hours, and then I'm not gonna be tired of it, and I can actually, you know, like bond with some of you guys because some of you guys actually love fish as well. So that's pretty cool and pretty nice. So I'll say thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me your time and your attention. I will see you guys tomorrow on another video. So tomorrow I'm probably gonna bring you guys to a store. I'm not gonna say which store yet, but it's gonna be a store that everybody probably knows. But hey, it's gonna be maybe a series on this channel, to be honest. But that's gonna be for tomorrow. So thank you for watching, and thank you for giving me a small amount of your attention. I'll see you guys tomorrow in another video. Bye. Thank you.